There's always a light when we are ready to see it. There is always a light when we are ready to be it. To see the light, to be the light, to raise our eyes in the dark of night, to climb this hill. Together we will. There is always a light
in the dark.
when we are ready to see it. There is always a light
in the dark.
when we are ready to be it. To see the light, to be the light, to raise our eyes in the dark of night, to climb this hill. Together we will.
There is always light. There is always light.
We are ready to see it.
There is always light. There is always light.
We are ready to be it.
To see the light, to be the light, to shine. Once this hill, we know we will. There is always light. There is always light.
We are ready to see it.
There is always light. There is always
When you're ready to be
light. To see the light, to be the light, to shine.
When we are ready to be it, to see the light, to be the light, to raise our eyes in the dark of night, to climb this hill. Together we will. There is always a light
in the dark.
when we are ready to see it. There is always a light
in the dark.
when we are ready to be it. To see the light, to be the light, to raise our eyes in the dark of night, to climb this hill. Together we will.
There is always light. There is always
We
light.
are ready to see it.
There is always light. There is always
We
light.
are ready to be it.
To see the light, to be the light, to shine. Once this hill, we know we will. There is always light. There is always
We
light.
are ready to see it.
There is always light. There is always
When you're ready to be
light. To see the light, to be the light, to shine.
There is always a light when we are ready to see it. There is always a light when we are ready to be it. To see the light, to be the light, to raise our eyes in the dark of night, to climb this hill. Together we will. There is always a light
in the dark.
when we are ready to see it. There is always a light
in the dark.
when we are ready to be it. To see the light, to be the light, to raise our eyes in the dark of night, to climb this hill. Together we will.
There is always light. There is always
We
light.
are ready to see it.
There is always light. There is always light.
We
to see the light, to be the light, to shine.
When we are ready to be it, to see the light, to be the light, to raise our eyes in the dark of night, to climb this hill, together we will. There is always a light
in the dark.
when we are ready to see it. There is always a light
in the dark.
when we are ready to be it. To see the light, to be the light, to raise our eyes in the dark of night, to climb this hill, together we will.
There is always light. There is always light.
We are ready to see.
There is always light. There is always light.
We are ready to be.
To see the light, to be the light, to shine. Climb this hill, we know we will. There is always light. There is always light.
We are ready to see.
There is always light. There is always light. To see the light, to be the light, to shine.
There is always a light when we are ready to see it. There is always a light when we are ready to be it. To see the light, to be the light, to raise our eyes in the dark of night, to climb this hill, together we will. There is always a light
in the dark.
when we are ready to see it. There is always a light
in the dark.
when we are ready to be it. To see the light, to be the light, to raise our eyes in the dark of night, to climb this hill, together we will.
There is always light. There is always
We
light.
are ready to see it.
There is always light. There is always
We
light.
are ready to be it.
To see the light, to be the light, to shine. Climb this hill, we know we will. There is always light. There is always
We
light.
are ready to see it.
There is always light. There is always
When you're ready to be
light. To see the light, to be the light, to shine.
You are amazing.
Thank you. You're not bad yourself.
Oh, aren't we all? We're all great. And flawed all at the same time, huh? Ann?
For sure.
Larry? Good morning, everybody. Look how lovely you are. I'm hiding behind these gorgeous flowers. Beautiful, beautiful. Welcome to our service this morning on this beautiful fall day. Long sleeves and long pants in the morning, tank tops and shorts in the afternoon. Makes me very happy. I'm sure it makes you happy as well. On behalf of the worship committee, welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Columbia. If you did not know where you were at, you do now. If you need to leave, it's okay. We'd rather you stay. My name is Melody Smith. I will be your service leader today. Our fabulous Reverend Stephen Robinson is in the house. Today, our music director, Anna Hamilton, is on vacation in Michigan. We have the fabulous Andy Wells, who is substituting for her. The guy is fabulous, right? I thought, when I saw the order of service, I thought, we're gonna sing to percussion. And then I find out he can play the piano, and he can be a doctor, and he's a patriot, and he's a dad. Okay, this guy is something. So we're so glad to have you. Thank you, Andy. Okay. All right. Stay connected with our community by keeping an eye on the following communications. Our recurring events are included in the calendar, which is easily found on our website now that that's been revamped. I used to search for it like I was, in a scavenger hunt or something. But it's easy to find now. It is in the calendar and in our order of service, but special events that are coming up are happening all the time. So we provide an emailed newsletter every Thursday. Be sure if you want that newsletter that you have your email registered with our administrator, Cindy Alexandri. Listen to our special announcements. I did not receive any announcements before the service, so too bad, so sad, you can't say anything today. I'm kidding. If you do have a special announcement, you can come up to me or you can do it yourself at the end of service. Just please make it short because we have cookies to eat. Okay? All right. Usually the worship committee gathers those announcements, and I would make those announcements, but today is a special day. So we will wing it. How's that? I'm not very good at that, but okay. We warmly welcome families with children and offer childcare during our service for infants and children up to 4 years old. We have a designated seating area over here in the corner of the sanctuary for children to play quietly with a caregiver or a parent. There are toys in the back of the social hall for kids to bring up and play with, and they're welcome to do that so that they can stay connected to the service as well. Today, the children will remain in the service with their parents and their caregivers. So, now, that's right, Sylvia, take a deep breath. Let's all take a deep breath and drop our shoulders, turn our telephones off, be here together as one, okay, and enjoy the rest of the service. And I'll turn that over to Andy Wells.
There we go. So today's prelude is easily recognizable by most people here. It's Night and Day by Cole Porter.
blood is pumping now, right? Excellent. How much fun is that? Wonderful. Thank you, Andy. Good job. Great. Wonderful. Can't say enough. I have another announcement for children 4 to 8 years old. There is a special crafting event in room 5. So if anybody wants to join after the Story for All Ages, that is children 4 to 8 years old, Larry. And so, so if they'd like to be excused to do that, that would be great. Thank you again. Please rise in body of spirit. And join me in the congregational covenant. It's in the order of service. Love is the doctrine of this congregation. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, seek knowledge and freedom, and serve others in community. Thus do we covenant with one another. Thank you all. Please be seated. Make yourselves comfortable. Unitarian Universalism is a diverse and non-creedal religion. Our community is founded on deeds, not creeds. We are a covenantal religion, meaning we don't have to believe the same to treat each other the same, which is a beautiful thing in today's world. I lost my place. All right, with respect, equity, and compassion and dignity, we place love at the center of our values, embracing and welcoming all people. We're delighted to welcome all guests and visitors. Today, my fabulous friend, Susan Legacy, has graciously accepted the role of microphone person for our visitors. We love having you, and she's assisting with the microphone to bring that around to our visitors. If you're willing and able, please stand up and wait for the microphone to reach you. Then share your name and where you're from. If you've brought a guest, we invite you to introduce them as well.
I'd like to introduce Judy's sister, my sister-in-law. This is Judy. And that's Sally. Sally Christian, she's come all the way from South Maple to join us today.
Fantastic. Welcome. Anybody else? Anybody else? Oh, yes.
Hello, my name is Teresa, but I go by Tess. I come from Lexington, South Carolina. I've lived here for almost 3 years now. It's my first time. Last Sunday, I tried to go to this church, and I ended up in the wrong church. So there you go. Thank you.
Welcome, Tess. We're glad you found us.
Hi, these are my grandparents, Leo and Chris Wells. They're here to watch my dad play music.
One more. I'll come this way. Don't tell kids anything.
Well, good morning. This is my second visit. And I was a member of this church way back in the 70s. And as I said last time, I've spent most of my adult life as a gypsy. And so I am finally back home, retired, and live down kind of in the Orangeburg Santee area. And hope to come back. Thank you for being welcome.
What's your name?
Oh, I'm sorry. Tricia Rickenbaker.
Tricia. Welcome. Did I get everybody? I think we did. Thank you, Susan. Yeah, she's so good. Vanna White, watch out. Visitors, if you'd like to learn more about the UUCC, visitor cards are in the back pocket of each of the chairs in front of you. Fill out one and place it in the collection plate so we can email you with our events. Our board members and committee chairs welcome questions and comments. Board members wear green name tags in case you have any questions or comments that you'd like to share. Thank you for being here. We're so glad to have so many visitors today. Today, our chalice lighters are Sally King and Jim Buggy. They have been members of the UUCC for 2 years now, and they've enjoyed our services, and they're longtime members of Columbia, South Carolina. They've lived here for a long time, and so I would invite them to come on up and light the chalice, please.
I'm not good with technology. We'll see. It's getting there.
Perfect. You got it?
Okay, it's good.
Thank you so much. Well done. Thank you all. Appreciate you. Spirit of light and life, come among us. And now the opening hymn.
So there's a slight change to the order of service. Instead of 197, we'll be singing hymn number 123, which is Spirit of Life. Please rise as you're willing.
Yep. Should just let Andy play. Should just let Andy Thank you. May be seated. To use Andy's phrase, slight change of order of service. Andy's just going to play for the rest of the morning, and I'm going to sit and listen. We could vote on that if you wanted to. Like, yeah. Then your folks would be happy. Like they. For our opening words today, I'm going to take Howard Thurman's poem that's entitled, "I Will Light Candles This Christmas," and expand it a little bit, adapt it a little bit, just one word to represent this season of the time of year that we're in, and just say, "I will light candles this season." But here are the words of Howard Thurman. "I will light candles this season, candles of joy despite all the sadness. Candles of hope where despair keeps watch. Candles of courage for fears that are ever present. Candles of peace for the tempest-tossed days. Candles of grace to ease heavy burdens. Candles of love to inspire all my living. Candles that will burn all year long." This time I invite the children to join me down front for the story for all ages. right. Good morning. I'm going to play with fire today, so instead of sitting down there, I'm going to stand up here so I don't get too close to you. Did you hear the poem? Those of you who were in here, the poem that I just read from Howard Thurman. I will light a, what was it? A candle. That's right. So let's light a candle. All right. I want you to just take a second. And as I light this candle, we're just going to look at it for a little bit. Oftentimes we don't take an opportunity to just kind of watch fire. Tell me what you see. What do you see? Something you notice about the fire? Yeah? It's glowing. Yeah, that's right. It's glowing. Different colors too, right? Depending on how hot it is at different places. What else do you see? That's right. It's blue at the bottom and kind of light orange at the top. What else do you notice about it? The wax is dripping on my fingers. I heard that. Got to be tough to do this job. What else? Is it still? Is it like completely still, or is it moving? It's moving, right? Even if I move it a little bit, obviously it moves, but even if I hold the candle really still, can you see it's still moving? Wow. All right, I'm going to do something. You tell me what this reminds you of, all right? Oh, that's a good point. A cave, exactly. That's not what I had in mind, but I like that, a cave. So that is a beautiful image. You're going to read Plato one day, and that's going to make a lot of sense to you, what you just stumbled upon the Republic in a great image. Great job. Anything else you notice if I put it like way up high and it looks like a circle in the sky? The sun. Oh, right. The sun, absolutely. It looks like the sun. You know, people long ago, when they would have fire here, they would look up at the sky too and go, wait a minute, the sun looks a lot like this fire that's sitting outside my cave, or in my cave, that's right. And so they were looking how it glows, how it moves just like the sun, and they thought, man, this is a really important thing. And then, hold on. Oh. And then every once in a while, the fire would go out. Oh no. Is it moving now? You see any blue, orange? Nope, it's all gone. And they would go, oh man, how do we get the fire back? And they would look at the sun and go, give us the fire back, because the fire is so awesome. It gives us light and it keeps us warm. And now it's gone. How do you feel now that it's gone? Can be a little sad, right? Any idea what we could do? Get the fire back? Can we take it to the sun? Yeah, we can do that. What else could we do? See anything behind me that would help you? Oh, we have a chalice here that we lit, that Sally and Jim lit for us just a few minutes ago. All we have to do to get the fire, the beautiful fire back, is come to our chalice. Yay! And you know, even if you're having a bad day and things aren't going so well, and all of a sudden, oh, life is tough. You know what? You can just come right back to our chalice and say, wow, the fire is back. Or maybe something's happening in the world around us and you get so sad, and your parents are watching the news and they sound sad and frustrated, or they end up at the wrong church on any given Sunday. And there they walk in and go, Methodist church, oh. I'm kidding. I have great Methodist friends. You just come back and you relight your candle and the fire is back. And you know what? That is exactly what we have to do all the time. That's what this place is for. this beautiful flame, this beautiful fire that means so much to us and gives us such great joy. Every once in a while, we have to come back and relight our fire. And this chalice is always lit, even when it's not glowing. Even when it's not on fire, it is lit in this place. So I'm glad you have this place, and I'm glad you each have a candle in you. Today we have some great RE classes for you, so as you make your way back, and even as for ages 4 to 8, you have a great craft activity back there that Miss Dawn's going to lead. So thank you so much for coming down this morning. All right. This morning I invite us to light some of those candles to remind ourselves of what this chalice is for, what these flames are for in this place. This is a place where we light candles for joys, for concerns that we're holding this morning. And I invite you, if you are wanting to share one of those, to come and briefly share that joy or concern and place your candle here.
Hi, buddy. I'm Paul Canosi, and my Uncle Denny, I don't know if any of you know him, but he was a pilot for TWA for years. Funniest guy in the world, knew every joke ever told, and he's in hospice right now, and he's not going to make it in 2 weeks. I really feel bad for my Aunt Gloria and my 4 cousins.
Good morning, I'm Sharon Givens, and well, I have a couple of joys, but the big one today is that Deb Matherly and I will be co-chairing the Social Action Committee, and we had our very first event yesterday at the No Kings rally. It was very well attended. Thank you all who came and joined us. Yes, yes, yes. Also, I would really like to thank Tom Clements for helping me load everything and get it up there and get it set up. Being a person with a bad back, this is going to be difficult. So I will be calling on more of the younger men in the congregation to help out with these things.
Hello, I'm Mara Farley. I'm the leader of the Flower Committee. And this is a candle of love and embrace. Oh, thank you. This is a candle of love and embrace for our beloved Reverend Stephen, whose mom, Charlotte Sue Hurston Robinson, passed away on Tuesday, September 30th. And Stephen, these beautiful flowers are on our altar this morning. They have been brought here in honor of your mom, and we hope that you feel the love and embrace that they represent from all of us to you. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Pat Moore, and that's got to be the most gorgeous bouquet we've ever had. Beautiful. I am up here for a very brief candle of memory. On Wednesday, it will be 13 years since Don Moore went to live in the garden. Please don't forget him.
Good morning. I'm Joan Watterson, but I am doing this for Linda Brennison. Her sister had a heart episode during this past week, had a heart cath and a stent put in, and might need a pacemaker. So just please think of her.
It's Candle of Joy. We are Pagans in the Park event. Yesterday was a huge success. We had a great turnout. A lot of people showed up. We had free craft tables. We had a Blessing of the Land ritual. We had free snacks. We even had a free pop-up thrift thing where you can just come and take whatever you want. We had a lot of people donate clothes. It was just a huge success, and I'm really happy for it.
I'm Neil Jones, and I'm lighting the candle of inspiration. I was at the No Kings rally yesterday, and I think it was the largest crowd I've seen at our state capitol, probably even larger than the Take Down the Confederate Flag rally we had years ago. I know several of you were there. Would you mind raising your hand if you were there yesterday? Oh my gosh, look at that. And I met Unitarians from Augusta and Aiken, Greenville. I knew they were Unitarians because they were wearing our gold Siding with Love t-shirt. I know a lot of people in this room and across our country are fearful of losing our government, a government of, by, and for the people, and are angry at the sociopath who is turning our democracy toward dictatorship. But I want to say that fear and anger were not the tone of yesterday's rally at all. The size of the crowd, the energy of the crowd was so full of determination and resilience and joy and hope. There was a lot of singing and dancing and costumes and hugging, and a lot of laughter. It's exactly what my soul needed. It needed to be uplifted, and it was uplifted yesterday. So I light a candle of hope.
So as usual, I don't have a candle, but I have my reading glasses, which are good. As you know, on October 19th, oh, okay. Stephen, you're always there for me, thank you. October 19th was the day our beloved friend and my neighbor, Rebecca Drennan, was scheduled to go to Merrill's Garden independent living, and I think she's there now. I've been in frequent contact with her, helping her get her mail and visiting with her, and I know that many of you have too, and as a neighbor and friend, I really appreciate that. And I must say, her spirit never waned. It is indomitable, and she was in quite a bit of pain, but she never complained, and I'm very happy that she is in Merrill's Garden where she will be able to leave her apartment and walk out into the gardens. And I just have great admiration for how she has managed this transition, and let us all learn from her. Thanks.
The last candle that we light represents those joys, those concerns that we're holding silently this morning. I invite you to reflect on what's been shared this morning. Remember those celebrations and let that fill your heart. Remember those sorrows and concerns and let that weigh you down. So that we share them together. Thank you. This morning, as we prepare for our offering, just a reminder to our Share of the Plate recipient, this month of October is the Cotton Branch Farm Sanctuary, and so continue to support their good work, and we'll look forward to them coming back toward the end of the month to share even more about the great work that they are doing. Andy's going to introduce our offertory song.
Today's offertory song is A Child is Born, which was written by Thad Jones based on a tune by his pianist. And the last time I've actually played this song twice here at the UUCC years ago. The first time was about 11 3/4 maybe years ago, at the time when Cadence was born. And you may not know this, but she was born 6 weeks premature and had spent time in the NICU. And there were a lot of emotions going on at the time, but I managed to make it through the song. So this is a song of hope.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you. Invite our ushers to come and receive our offering. Receive our offering today, symbol of our commitment to our good work. Thank you, Andy. Absolutely beautiful. You should be concerned that Melody referred to both of us as fabulous. That means you're in the same ballpark, and it's obvious that you're way above. I want to thank you, Mara, for the beautiful flowers this morning. I was sitting here thinking when I looked at the flowers when I sat down, and I couldn't see the wing over there, which is beautifully blocked by these wonderful flowers that I just love. This kind of reminds me of my mom and dad's house. Just so many flowers. My mom loved flowers, and I would send her flowers on different days, and she would say, "You just have to see them." And she would say, "I will send you a picture." And I have so many pictures on my phone of my dad using my mom's cell phone to take a picture of her holding the flowers up in front of her face where I couldn't see her, but I could see the flowers. So thank you. It's absolutely something that she would love. Today, I want to share a reading that's a part of our UU heritage, part of our tapestry of faith. It's just a beautiful reflection on fire and our chalice that sometimes you just have to acknowledge that something is well written in a way that probably better than I could do. And I've devoted an entire page to fire, so the pagans should be happy with that, right, Matt? Christine? All right. Fire is a big part of our service today, so that's a little inside joke with Matt and me. Elizabeth Harding writes, "People have always known that fire was special. Long, long ago, before people made matches or candles or even made houses, people knew that fire was special. There was the great fire in the sky, the sun, which made the earth warm and made night into day. And there were the smaller fires that people made, fires that cooked their food, kept them warm, and brought them light. People honored the fires because fire was special. Fire was more than human. Fire has power. It can create and it can destroy. It can bring light and it can burn. It can create out of nothingness. It can destroy into nothingness. Fire can be wonderful, and fire can be terrible. We have to be careful with fire. And so people thought that fire was something sacred and holy. Some people worshiped fire and said that fire was a deity, like a goddess or a god. Other people said fire wasn't actually the deity, but just meant that the deity was there. No matter what they believed, people all over the world gave fire a special place in their religions. They had fire in their homes to cook food, keep warm. They also had sacred fires in their temples. They set sacred lamps on their altars, and they lit sacred bonfires outside on the hilltops and in the groves. They placed sacred torches near the graves of those who died. We still do this today near the tomb of the unknown soldier in Washington, D.C., burns an eternal flame that never goes out. In churches at Christmas time, many Christians light 4 candles on an Advent wreath. During the 8 days of Hanukkah, Jews light the 8 candles of the menorah. At Diwali, Hindus set small lamps around the house. And when Unitarian Universalists gather, we light a chalice. This is our sacred fire. This is a season where fire and light is integrated into so many faiths in our world around us. In this season that we are in, this season of cold, where the days are getting shorter, we have long moved past the time of the balance between light and day, and we recognize the air is cooling and days are getting shorter. The sense of the sun feeling like it's further away from us is upon us. We are entering into this season of darkness for ourselves. Spirituality points constantly in this season to the hope of light over darkness. So it's not hard to imagine that people tied to the earth and the cycles of the earth, longing for the fire of the sun to come back and connecting to that fire that they can hold and create for themselves. It's no wonder that they began to create rituals around this time of year. It really shouldn't surprise us that most of the religions of the world use this season as a time to center a holiday around fire. As we mentioned, Christians and Advent candles, lighting those candles of hope. The story in Jewish history of the Maccabean revolt and the lamps staying lit in the temple, long past the oil, having sufficiency to keep those lamps. And today our focus on a holiday that's coming up this week for the Hindu community and many others in the world around us, the season of Diwali. The word from Diwali just simply means the string of lights. It's observed on the darkest night of the moon cycle. The Hindu calendar is a lunar calendar, and so the celebration of Diwali falls in October, November, sometime on our Western solar calendar. Diwali is an annual celebration of the return of light after months and months of darkness, and it is a sacred holiday in the Hindu community. It has great history that comes from stories of overcoming, stories of hope. King Dasharatha, a valiant warrior who had aided the celestial god Indra in battles against demons, had a debt of gratitude. And during this fierce battle, after he had been saved, not just once, but twice, in return for that bravery, promised to grant the great warrior 2 wishes to whatever she chose to ask. And she asked, on the eve of Sri Ram's coronation, the son of the king, decided to claim her influence. And by her influence, she demanded that her son, Bharat, be crowned king instead of the rightful heir, and that Ram be exiled to the forest. So the king, knowing that he had to keep his promise, went to his son and said, I have to keep this promise. I made this promise, this oath, that I will give this 2 wishes to this person who has saved my life. And Sri Ram's response to this sudden turn of events said, I will gladly obey my father's command. Why would I even go? I would even go if you hadn't ordered it, but the fact that you promised it, this act of selflessness, I will go into exile. And so they prepared for their departure into exile. His mother Sita and his brother Lakshman insisted on accompanying him into exile. There are so many wonderful stories during those 14 years of exile of the rightful heir to the throne that culminate in the great battle against Ravan and his demon army, this epic battle to protect Dharma or goodness. One of the great stories that I love from this mythology is the story of crossing the ocean. And this is a time where I think sometimes a sermon is hyper-focused with a particular group. This is hyper-focused on the Building and Grounds Committee, all right? So they had a problem. In order to fight the demon army, Ram and his army had to cross the ocean. So they had to come up with a way to cross the ocean, the vast ocean. So with divine intervention, the help of his followers, they came up with the solution. Nal and Nil, which were 2 skilled monkey engineers. That is not a reference to the Building and Grounds Committee, by the way. But they constructed a bridge known as the Sri Ram Setu, which later becomes known as Adam's Bridge. This extraordinary feat of engineering involved riding Sri Ram on every boulder around them and then throwing it into the sea. And because they had written his name on the stones floated and formed a wonderful bridge across the ocean, and the entire army walked across the ocean on floating rocks to be able to fight the demon army. Now, I know I sit in board meetings and I talk to Bill on a regular basis, and I know the Building and Grounds Committee has lots of challenges. Come on. They cross the ocean on floating rocks, right? Certainly we could tackle our problems. I'm just kidding about that. I love our Building and Grounds Committee. They do a great job. But man, what an amazing story of engineering and really the ability to see a problem and say, we're going to tackle it. We are not going to let the ocean stand in our way. And crossed the ocean and fought and killed a demon army. And then, of course, after 14 years of exile, the return of Sri Ram back to his home marked this momentous occasion that has been celebrated for centuries and centuries now as the holiday of Diwali. The joyous homecoming symbolized the triumph of good over evil and brought renewed hope back to the people of his home. They returned, and as they returned into the town, people lined the path with clay lamps to celebrate them. And that row of lights began this celebration of lights and the victory of light over darkness, hope over despair, wisdom over ignorance, and goodness over evil. And that is just simply the way that some of the Hindu community celebrates that. There are other Hindu in southern regions that celebrate Diwali as Lord Krishna's defeat of the demon Nakashura. There are other in the northern kingdom that celebrate Vishnu, who was sent the demon to King Bali to rule another world. Jains celebrate Diwali to commemorate the spiritual awakening of the Mahavira. Sikhs celebrate Diwali as the release of their sixth guru from prison. And some Buddhists celebrate the Emperor Ashoka's seeking enlightenment and the Eightfold Path as their celebration of Diwali. It is a holiday, like all of our holidays, that have so much room for people to grab it and embrace it as a symbol of hope. All of these religions, as Neil lit a candle of hope, all of these religions are lighting a fire that represents hope for us in the midst of darkness. The reason these rituals have become a part of this season, in a season that can feel hopeless, and we are still talking about winter, not just our current political environment, or are we? Talking about both. But in a season that can feel hopeless, like our candles can't stay lit, our fire is not burning long enough, the sun is not in the sky long enough. In this season of hopelessness, the fire and the ritual represents hope and victory over the darkness. I used to think about hope from a Christian perspective, and as I grew up as a Christian, hope was something that was external. It was always based on something that's going to happen, typically happen in the future out there somewhere. And it's always something that happened to me. Somebody is going to give me hope. And so even in Christian Advent, there's that sense of the hope that represents in the Advent wreath, the hope of something coming that's going to change the world. I've had to think about hope a little bit differently because as I have deconstructed the possible things that might be coming in the future and the possible things that might be outside of my mind of understanding, I've had to look for hope inward. And I found a wonderful book that in 2022, after the pandemic, Joanna Macy and Chris Johnstone did a revised edition as a 10-year anniversary from their book from 2012 called Active Hope, where they invite us to not just see hope as something that is outside of ourselves, but to see it as something that we have to choose to do. They write, whatever situation we encounter, we can choose our response. When we are facing overwhelming challenges, we might feel that our actions don't count for much. Yet the kind of responses we make and the degree to which we believe they count are shaped by the way we think and feel about hope. Think about yesterday in gathering across the country for those many people who were doing the No King rally. It can feel like our actions don't count for much, yet the kind of responses we make are shaped by the way we think and feel about hope. For Joanna Macy, the word hope has two different meanings. One is that sense of involving hopelessness, that the outcome seems reasonably likely to happen. But if we require this kind of hope before we commit ourselves to action, then we're going to get blocked in areas that we don't see that we have a good opportunity to overcome. Think about how despair can creep in. If we completely lock ourselves into hope has got to change the outcome, it's really easy to look in our current day and say, it's hopeless. Why should we keep doing this? But that's a passive hope, waiting for external agencies to bring about what we desire. Macy says active hope is about becoming active participants in the process of moving toward our hopes and where we can, realizing them. It is a practice like Tai Chi or gardening. It is something we do rather than something we have. The second meaning of hope is all about desire and fire. Desire and fire. I told you all a couple of weeks ago that I've been finished reading a book by Kristen Hanna about the great alone and a family that moved to Atlanta. That's a little bit different than Alaska, right? Moved to Alaska. And so it's gotten me interested in reading some people that have tried to tame Alaska, so to speak, and move there and try to survive. One person said, of course, if you're going to live off the grid and you're going to live in Alaska, water and shelter and food are most important things that you have to find. You got to be able to locate a water source. You got to be able to build a shelter for yourself, and you got to be able to find food to survive. But something they said made me really think. You can find all the water and the food and the shelter that you want, but if you can't build a fire, none of it matters. Think about that. If you can't build a fire, none of it matters. Because the fire is the warmth, the light, the protection around us, purifies water, cooks food, and even says it is so important to our emotional well-being. Compare that to ourselves living in our world today. We do a lot of things around us. Our social action committee is absolutely involved and engaged in so many things around us. And oftentimes it feels like we ask ourselves, are we making a dent in this world that we're living in? We have to remind ourselves that we can do all those things, but if we can't build a fire, nothing else matters. So we have to be people that are willing to build fires in our world today. And I don't mean that literally. So don't take that out and become arsons and say our minister said to do that. But I think we know what it means to be people of fire and willing to build fires in our world today around us. Even when it doesn't feel like the fire is important or the fire is going to make a difference, we have to be people of the fire in our world today, and we have to have a source. And the chalice is our source.
Please join us in our closing hymn, which I think Anna selected because she knew I was playing today. It's going to be in number 118, This Little Light of Mine. We're going to repeat the first verse because 3 verses isn't enough. So we'll do 1, 2, 3, then verse 1. Please rise and body your spirit.
Thank you so much, Andy. Our closing words come from Deanna Vandiver. As we extinguish our chalice, this container of air, earth, and fire, this ritual of our faith that reminds us of our subtle and our crashing about beings, that we are part of a collective, a community of care and connection, courage and questions, scared and sacred together. Today, we gather with intention and creativity, releasing what we must, shaping what we will, in a space made possible by generations of community care and the courage of connection.
Sorry, I was still thinking of the last one. But please join us in our congregational benediction, which has copies in the back of your seats.
If you can be seated for a quick announcement.
Thank you. On behalf of the CYRE committee, Lydia Ureta would like for you to know that they are collecting candy donations to make the Cups Halloween movie night extra sweet. Please bring your bag of treats and drop them off in the DRE office or at the DRE office. There is a collection box that will be set up. There is one there with a sign on it. It's black, so you can't miss it. And or you can hand your donations directly to Lydia. Movie night will take place at 6:30 on October 31st. Thank you for your help. Make this spooky night a fun one for everyone. Secondly, or the last announcement that I have is from the Leadership Development Committee. Joining a committee is a great way to get involved in the work we do at UUCC. Join us in the committee fair Sunday, November 9th during social hour after church, and find out more about the great work these committees are doing in our community and how you get involved in everything that we're doing. Okay. Thank you, and thank you to Linda Brennison, who is watching us on at her home. She just sent these to me so that you could get these. The power of technology. One more.
And of course, I forgot to send in mine by the power of technology on Friday. So there is a social action committee meeting at 12:30 today in room 10. And we would love to have everyone here, especially all those who were at the rally yesterday.
You're dismissed.
Listen, Anna will be back next week.
No, they would much rather hear you play than me talk, I promise you. But thank you all for being here.